105.9 The Zone.
Man alive. I tell you what I like is not only when somebody goes ahead and comments on the radio show live stream before the show has even begun, but they also are waiting on me on the phone line for when the show's going to start, like a preemptive phone call. Bill, I think that's the first time that's happened, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm just wondering if it's a good thing or a bad thing. We'll find out, I guess.
We're gonna find out shortly. Welcome in, y'all, here to the show starting an hour later here today. I had some things to take care of. I appreciate you guys and gals, men, women, children, horses, cows, goats, dogs, cats, everybody, all y'all, as my friend Neil Price would say, all y'all. All y'all for hanging on in there and being here for the start of the show an hour late today. Thanks for hanging in there and jumping in. Sven, the first to comment, he was right off the bat on the live stream over on YouTube. He says, we advanced. Props to the Irish. If not for those unbelievable outfield catches, we may have lost that game. Yeah, I mean, you just never know, right? Like, it would certainly change the flow of the game if Rowdy Jordan hadn't made a diving catch and Tanner Allen as well. And that's the story today. Mississippi State is on to its third consecutive College World Series trip. Now, here's my question for you State fans. Are you starting to take it for granted? Be careful with that. I'm not telling you what to do. I really need to be a question that's out there. Is there the potential to take it for granted? That now Omaha is just, you go there every year. It's just something you do. You're one of the final 8. You're in Omaha every year. Don't take it for granted.
They call that the Alabama frame of mind for football.
It's exactly right, Bill. And see, and
Alabama syndrome.
Well, and you have to be very careful with that because baseball is not football. Ask Arkansas, right? I mean, it's incredible that they're not there. Be careful about taking this for granted. Now, having posed that question, and then I'm coming over the phones, having posed that question, is it national championship or bust? Now, I'm not saying that State is the automatic favorite to go win it. That's not what I'm saying. You know, whether you ask me or anybody else or Vegas or whoever, that's not the point of what I'm saying is it's your third consecutive trip there. This team's got a little magic in the wand. This team's got a little fight and a little grit that is pretty uncommon. And this team has an incredibly, incredibly deep pitching staff. They have played themselves to Omaha without the most dominant starting pitching in the world. They've been really good. Lots of strikeouts, but you wouldn't say dominant always. It's been a little up and down, you know. Yet here they are, one of the 8 left. And it's your third time in a row. And I'm just saying that in the past, I feel confident there's a lot of State fans that and fans of other schools, when their team has gone to Omaha, there's been a lot of State fans that in the past have been like, oh boy, whew, what a relief. Isn't it awesome to get to Omaha, 2 in Q or win 3 games, whatever it is, just happy to be there. Well, guess what? They don't feel that way anymore. I feel certain the majority of State fans are not looking at this trip to the College World Series as, well, we're just glad we're in. A lot of good teams there. You give yourself enough chances in Omaha, you're going to come home with that trophy at some point. You give yourself enough chances. Maybe this isn't the year, but maybe it is. All right, all of your comments coming up. Text me on the Country Pleasing text line, 885-ESPN. It's a 601 number, 885-ESPN. Woodrow texted first. He said, Matt, what's up? Get the party started. Let's do it on the Davini Equipment phone line where Jimmy from Jackson is hanging on line 1. Thanks for calling, Jimmy, right off the bat. What's up?
Hey, Matt. Congratulations to your Bulldogs.
Thanks, Jimmy.
I did watch a game. I did watch a game last night, and I'm a diehard Alabama fan. But I will say this: I love the placement of the ball going outside on the outside corner, then coming back inside and playing a mental game with the Notre Dame hitters. The only thing that I saw was that I saw that Mississippi State was kind of looking gassed toward the later innings, and they kind of slowed down the momentum. And that's what I was going to ask you about today, Matt. How can Mississippi State keep an aggressive, high-octane offense into the World Series and bust the doors open in Omaha and take the first few games and get to the finals?
Yeah. Jimmy, that is the key to it. You've heard sort of historically, but you've heard it all year long as we've talked about State and, this pitching staff that, and I'll play the sound for you later. You heard the coach for Notre Dame after last night's game going, it's too hard to overcome an inning like we had in that second inning with that many runs on the board for them because they just put pitcher after pitcher after arm after arm after arm on the mound. It's just too much to overcome against their pitching staff. So you're touching on what it takes. Pitching is going to travel. Pitching is going to be a little more consistent week in and week out. It's, can you go out here and put up big innings at the plate? For the most part this year, with a lot of young guys and new guys in their lineup outside of the top two spots, they haven't done that. They've won a bunch of one-run games this year. They won a bunch of games early in the year coming from behind late in games. But if the light bulb is on now, when you're looking at these at-bats for Cameron James now, all of a sudden, who couldn't touch one in May, and now all of a sudden he's one of the country's hottest hitters in the postseason. Maybe State's most clutch hitter when you look at the entire postseason, including the regional. Logan Tanner behind the plate, a first-year player who just hit 2 home runs this weekend, including a 3-run home run last night. Even the bottom of the lineup, you look at Brad Cumbest and Kellum Clark coming to life in the 7 and 8 hole of your lineup this weekend against Notre Dame. If they keep that up, if the light bulb has come on now, Jimmy, for those guys at the plate, that's what it takes in Omaha to pair with that pitching staff to make a run deep. Now, there are a lot of good teams in it. Okay, they're going to go up against Texas. They already beat Texas once this year, but the kid who's the starting pitcher for Texas is one of the best in the country. And you can bet he cannot wait to get another shot at State. It's going to be you got to have some lucky bounces and that kind of thing. But the rate at which State is putting the bat on the ball, 2 out of the 3 games they played this weekend against a good Notre Dame team, that's what it's going to take to make that deep run. Jimmy, thanks for your call. It's good to hear from you. It's been a while. Call me anytime. Here is what it sounded like last night. This is the TV call. You had Dave Neal doing play-by-play on ESPN2 last night for this ball game. And in the top of the first inning, Notre Dame struck first.
Lifted in the air off the bat of Ryan Cole. That one is deep. And that one is gone. Ryan Cole sneaks one out over the right center field fence. And the Fighting Irish are on the board first.
1-0, top of the first. Notre Dame up. They came right back in the bottom of the first. Rowdy Jordan led things off, got on base, worked himself around, and with 2 outs, guy we talked about yesterday who was looking for his first hit in a while, and he got it in the bottom of the first. Luke Hancock tied the ball game.
Base hit right side. They're going to send Jordan. Here's the throw. It's cut off by Cavadas, and we're tied at 1.
Tied at 1. Then top of the second, 2 outs. A rope into the left center field gap. It's sure to be extra bases, but hold on.
It's that one out to left center. Long run for Rowdy Jordan. What a catch! Oh, my goodness, what a catch.
And so he saved an extra base hit right there. And the momentum, even though it was a tie game, after Rowdy Jordan made that catch, the momentum's on their side. They put 2 runs on the board. It's 3-1. Cameron James came to the plate there in the bottom of the second inning.
Slaps that one past the shortstop, Preisner. Rowdy Jordan races in from second. It's now 4-1, Mississippi State.
4-1. Two more runners on base later. It's 2 outs. Logan Tanner at the plate.
Hammered. Deep left field. Put some barbecue sauce on that one. A 3-run shot for Logan Tanner.
That capped off a 6-run bottom of the second inning for State. They're up 7-1. Go to the top of the third inning, top of the third. Notre Dame put a run on the board. Made it 7-2. State, bottom of the third. After giving up a run, they come right back and answer. This time it's Tanner Allen.
Touches that one pretty well. Deep to center field. And the streak has started.
That made it 8-2, that solo home run from Tanner Allen. Moved to the fourth inning, bottom of the fourth. Brad Cumbest at the plate.
As he smokes another one. This will get to the wall. That'll score Logan Tanner. And an RBI for that guy, Brad Cumbest.
Yeah, it made it 9-2 Mississippi State. The very next batter with Cumbest out there in scoring position, Kellum Clark.
There's another base hit. Cumbest turns the corner. And
there it goes. Now, it is at that point 10-2 after Kellum Clark drove in Cumbest. 10-2 there in the bottom of the fourth inning. Now, fast forward to the top of the seventh. A runner on base. Landon Sims has come into the ball game for Mississippi State and delivers a fastball to Kiko Cavadas, big, burly lefty.
oh boy. Oh my goodness. It left the stadium. I think he compressed the baseball.
That would qualify.
Oh my gosh!
That 2-run home run in the seventh inning made it an 11-7 ball game, and so with a 4-run game sitting there at 4 runs, Landon Sims still on the mound, still had to pitch the 8th and the 9th and get 6 more outs. He was able to do it, and the last one was a ground ball.
This might be it. It is. The Bulldogs have done it. They are heading to Omaha for the 3rd consecutive year.
So there you go. That's what it sounded like on the radio. Let's see what it sounds like on the phone line. Lynn on the Davini Equipment phone, hanging on line 1. What's up, Lynn?
It's a great day to be a dog, Matt.
Yes, sir.
I thought the play of the game was, and I don't think it can be overstated, really. If Rowdy Jordan don't beat out the double play, the second inning don't happen like it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, the home run's huge, and that you got to have it, but you can't have it if he don't beat that double play out. It never happens.
Yeah. Well, that's right. I think you're exactly right. And there's several things in there too, Lynn, that if we're looking at these possible swing moments where it swings the momentum or the game one way or the other, there are lots of things like that you can point to. Rowdy Jordan beating out the ground ball at first base to keep the inning alive. Rowdy Jordan making, I know this is a different deal, but making that catch there in the top of the second inning, with 2 outs, a diving catch. Later in the game, the Tanner Allen diving catch. You look at a ball too that highlight I played you of Cameron James driving in a run there to make it 4-1 in the bottom of that second inning. Well, that's a rope that he hits right to a shortstop who hadn't made any errors, hadn't had any hiccups, had made great plays all year long. If that ball bounces a foot sooner, it's a Sunday hop and he catches it and throws him out. But because it was hit so hard, it bounces a foot later and eats him up out into left field, and here goes the inning. So there's so many little things that can make a difference.
Well, yeah, but all of it started with that. I thought with him hustle, just the hustle, the sheer hustle. And I was gonna say something. Oh, we can't be upset. I mean, you can't be just happy with going to Omaha, but you can't be like national championship or bust.
Yeah.
That's just that is ultimately the goal, and that is what you're there for. But you can't be like the whole thing was a wash. Florida State went 17 times, still ain't won one.
Yeah, that's a good point. No, you're exactly right. And it requires a little luck at times. It requires one or two, let's say a couple of pitchers on the mound that just breathe fire in their outings there, and a guy or two at the plate that makes the right swing, here and there. I mean, look at the way the last time State went to Omaha. Look at the way they beat Auburn at the end of that ball game. Strange things can happen, but you just need some bounces to go your way. You're exactly right. I think it is baseball is too quirky to look at it the way you do. Have to kind of celebrate the idea that you're there.
Yeah, and I think we play well in the stadium because we've got guys with double-digit home runs now. I know, but really we're a base hit team. We're we score singles and doubles. We're doubles, triples, singles kind of team mainly.
Yeah.
And that ain't the whole stadium, but that's not a home run park.
No.
It's where home runs go to die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially right center to left center. Down the lines, people have poked them out of there, down that right field line, down that left field line some. But you're right. You can hit some balls really hard to left center, right center, and they're home runs in a lot of parks, but they will not be home runs in Omaha. Good point.
I think we got a good shot this time, and I'm gonna say we win it because that's just the kind of guy I am. But I would encourage State fans not to be all like it was a complete waste if you don't win it. We're doing things that nobody's ever done right now in the history of a great baseball program. So, Hail State, and I'm gonna listen.
Lynn, thanks for your call, buddy. Hail State to you. Appreciate your phone call. On the Davini phone, call me 995-1059. That's a 601 number. 995-1059. Ghost Pepper texts the show, and he says, Tennessee fans already talking a little trash about us in Omaha. The reason they use orange as their color is because they can wear it to the game on Saturday, wear it hunting on Sunday, and wear it to pick up trash along the side of the road the following week. That's from Ghost Pepper on the Country Pleasing text line. Grumpy says, Matt, Grumpy wants to know if Tony Montana was able to sneak in for pregame and pep talk. Also, not discounting hits and home runs, Rowdy Jordan beating out the double play was huge. Hail State. So Grumpy and Lynn are on the same page right there about how big that is. Kyle text the show, Country Pleasing text, that number, 885-ESPN or 885-3776. Kyle texts the show and he says, it's crazy how going to Omaha shuts the haters up. He says, Bo Bounds has been talking crap about State for 2 months straight. Then he didn't say one bad word this morning. That was funny. People don't forget anything, do they? All right, and then let's see. Jason in Flagstaff says, Matt White, I love you, but if you had to work a regular job, you'd be homeless by now. You may be right about that, Jason. He says, I love these hitting highlights, but I'll tell you who won that game. Houston Harding. Getting the lead was everything. Well, you're not kidding. All right, so let's look at his line real quick. Harding goes 4 innings. You heard Lamonis say after the game they wanted to get 5 out of him. They were only able to get 4. But in those 4 innings, 2 runs on 4 hits. Like averaging a hit an inning against that lineup is really good. They showed you, and you heard the stats, how many consecutive games, and in every game in the postseason they'd scored at least 8 runs. Well, you hold them to 7 last night, and you're right. A big reason is because of that 4-inning start from Houston Harding. 2 runs on 4 hits. When Stone Simmons came into the ballgame, they hit him. Now, he got a couple of key outs, including a couple of key strikeouts, but he gave up 3 runs in the 1 inning that he's out there. And then, of course, Sims, a couple of runs on 1 long ball, only struck out 4 of the 15 batters he faced, which is a little not quite like Landon Sims, but it's almost like that home run ball lit a fire or woke him up or something, because after that, they couldn't touch him. They got 2 singles or 2 hits there in the 9th inning to lead the inning off, but then he's able to get out of it, gets a strikeout, gets a double play ball. So he got everything he needed. He just wasn't as strikeout, swing and miss dominant as he normally is. But in a lot of cases, he's only throwing 6 outs. In this case, he came in to throw 12 outs because he actually pitched 4 innings and threw a total of 55 pitches. So it's just a different kind of outing. but still very effective. And, again, like you say, they can hit, man. Given the situation they were in, you knew they were going to put some runs on the board. They were not done when they were down 7-1 early in the ballgame. Very similar, right, to the situation State was in back in the first game. State was able to come back and win it. In this case, Notre Dame was not able to do that. Louvier, Country Pleasing text line, says, more aggressive hitting on good counts is what I recommended, and that's what we got. They were definitely aggressive. And, they were really good with 2 outs. I was looking at the comparison. You look at the comparison numbers. Some of the things State was able to do in that game last night at the plate, it's just incredible. Advancement opportunities, moving people over. State hit 727 as a team, 16 of 22 advancement opportunities they made good on with guys on base. Runners on third base, less than 2 outs. As a team, they were 3 of 4. It's just, they get the opportunities, they made good on it. They batted .400 as a team with runners in scoring position last night. Went 6 for 15. With 2 outs, they batted .412 as a team. They had 7 2-out hits. It was really incredible. You pair all of that with 5 2-out RBIs as compared to none. They drove it, Notre Dame drove in 0 runs last night with 2 outs. They didn't do very well with 2 outs. State struck out at the plate 4 times all night long. So it was just a good night at the plate, but a good night all the way around. And when they really needed it, they got it. Played themselves right on into another Omaha trip, 3rd consecutive. The job that Chris Lemonis is doing at State is just downright incredible. He's that good. Now they're going to see what they can do next week, northwest of here. Hour 1 of the show just underway. Stick around. Hey guys, look.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt. Just answer the questions. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Answer the questions. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if, who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, but this thing is, and it costs just as much as Zero Turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that Zero Turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy Bird's Eye.
Yes, always look for this Bird's Eye Bird, your guarantee of top quality frozen food. And your big Bird's Eye buy this week is Bird's Eye Orange.
Let's go! With more of the Matt Wyatt Show. The guy who, if he's not talking sports, hey, he's fishing for bass, okay? But he's right here, right now. Online at 1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9, The Zone.
All right, back with you. Coming to some of your comments on the live stream. Hey to all y'all on Facebook, YouTube. Appreciate you tuning in. Jeff and Ann and Dave and Sven and Mary and Bob and Jason and Larry. I'm a poet and don't know it. Get a rhyme every time. Michelle and Elizabeth and Ben and all y'all coming to some of your comments. But first, some kind folks have been waiting for a little while on the Davini Equipment phone line. Let's do that. Davini Equipment, Madison Jackson. First up on line 2 is Judy hanging on. Thanks for being patient, Judy. What's up?
Anything for my Bulldogs.
There you go.
Anything for the dogs.
Well, what'd you think about the
Several
game?
Comments. I loved it. I was very proud of my dogs, our dogs. The whole lineup, 1 through 9.
Mm-hmm.
They worked as a team. They picked each other up. They built each other up in the dugout. Just a total team effort. I loved that. Tell me, please, the 20-30-50 or 20-50-30 that the announcers kept referring to, who were they talking about and what do those numbers represent?
Gosh. I must have missed it, Judy. 20-50-30, 20-30-50. Goodness, I must have missed that. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe somebody listening.
One of your other callers
Yeah.
will let us know.
Okay, yeah.
Something else. Home runs hit, and they came in the dugout and got what looked like a construction helmet with initials on it.
Yeah.
YBSI. What does that stand for?
Okay, so the letters were, again, the letter Y, then B, did you say?
B. B is in boy.
Okay, and then
B
S.
is in batter.
All right, and then S-I. Y-B-S.
S is in state, and I is in international.
Okay. Well, I'll have to do some research. I don't know. Hey, but Judy, I've been watching them all year. I think that's the first time I've seen that hard hat. Or did I just miss it earlier?
First time I had noticed it.
Yeah.
But I saw it twice last night on 2 different people, and they had both hit home runs.
Mm-hmm. You know what I think? All right, now, this is just a theory.
Okay.
The Tennessee Volunteers this year began at some point during their season when the kid would hit a home run, a Tennessee player would be coming back to the dugout, and they put some hat on it, like it's a pink hat, or it had a slogan on it or something. And I'm wondering,
something about being a daddy.
That's it. Yeah, something about being a daddy.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if, State then decided, well, we need to do something like that. So it's sort of copycat, but not copying exactly. And it's the baseball version of the turnover chain in football. Like when a defense would get a fumble or an interception, these teams would come to the sideline and they'd either wear a big wrestling belt or they'd have a chain around their neck. I think this may be the baseball version of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll find out. I don't know what those
words mean.
Yeah, me neither. I'll have to find out, and maybe somebody listening knows that as well. But I'll do a little digging. If I can find an answer, Judy, I'll put it out there on the air.
Okay.
Thanks.
You. We're still waiting for you to come to Jackson.
Yeah, I know. I don't get there as much, but I promise I will be there at some point. And when I get out to Davini up in Madison, we'll do a show, and I'll let you know in plenty of time.
Sounds great.
Thank
you, and I love your show as always.
Thank you, Judy. Really appreciate you calling. All right, More Bully. He's hanging on. What's up, More Bully?
What's going on, Matthew?
Yo.
Hey, man. How much do you pay Judy to say all those kinds of words about you?
I got a deal. Didn't cost me anything yet.
I hear you. Hey, man, were you watching the game at home last night?
I was. I wasn't supposed to be, but I wound up watching it at home, yes.
Well, I have a question.
Okay.
Did Greek Freak's home run hit your house?
Let me tell you something, More Bully.
Oh, my God.
I'm telling you, okay, it reminded me a little bit of that walk-off home run that Tennessee kid hit during their regional to beat Wright State, in that you're watching it on TV and he hits it and the camera just pans to the outfield, but you never see the ball again. Like you never see the ball.
I never saw it.
Hey, I swear, even though I'm saying this on the radio, I still may do it, More Bully. I woke up this morning thinking I'm going to do this, and then I got sidetracked. I have in my studio here an actual baseball from an NCAA baseball game. You know, it says NCAA. It was a foul ball at a college game, and so it's got a good scuff mark on it and everything. And I was going to go put it in my front yard and set a little camera shot and have my coffee and pretend as though I walked out in my yard and found the home run ball. And I still may try to pull that off. I just haven't yet.
That's money. Yeah, that's money right there. But I think really, one key that we're missing is we shut him down. You know, He had a terrible series.
Yep, except for that one at bat. Yeah.
They said he decompressed the ball.
That's what. Hey, and look, I bet he did.
I know.
Like a golf
ball. They had
a
slow mo of it. You know.
Yeah,
but that guy, he's a freak.
Mm-hmm. He's a big old boy.
A freak.
Yeah.
He's a big one. Mm-hmm. I didn't know they had cornbread at Notre Dame. Cornbread and okra.
You'd be surprised,
anyway,
they're Indiana. They're in Indiana. Okay, it is Notre Dame, and they're highfalutin, and we like to think that about them. Let me tell you something, though, man. Like, there's a bunch of country boys running around South Bend, too, okay? Whether people want to believe it or not.
That's true. And they got four-wheel drives and all that.
That's exactly right.
No doubt in my mind. And they eat cornbread.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That guy, I mean, what's his draft prospect?
That is a good question. I don't know. I mean, sometimes you see these big-time home run hitters that aren't necessarily complete ball players and don't get drafted very high. I mean, it happens sometimes. I will say this, though. My mother, Susan Wyatt over in Wetumpka, Alabama, who sits there in her house and watches every Mississippi State game right by herself, texted me at about 6:30 this morning and said that he's going to be a first-round draft pick. Okay, so she had it on her mind.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, mm-hmm. That's her prediction.
We'll see. Well, that's the first time I saw that helmet as well.
Yeah, I don't know what those
are. I don't know if we're going to, whatever, take advantage of it. I mean, not take advantage, but take it for granted. I mean, we had to work hard. Those boys worked hard to get where they're going now.
Mm-hmm.
And talent-wise, out of the three teams, I think, would you agree this is the least talented? Not disparaging them.
Yeah. Yeah, but, I'll be honest with you. Okay, let me say it this way, More Bully. I don't know what this team is going to look like with 2 more years under their belt for Cameron James, Logan Tanner, Brad Cumbest, Kellum Clark, guys like that, with more under their belt. I don't know what it's going to look like, but right now you would say that some of those others, I mean, you had that one team in 2016 that didn't even get out of a super regional that was loaded with talent, including a future major league starting pitcher first round 96-mile-an-hour fireballer Dakota Hudson as your ace. Well, this team doesn't have that. The aces, the 1A and the 1B pitchers on this team are two guys who are technically freshmen who coming into this year had never thrown another SEC player a pitch yet. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. And you know what? I love watching Sims pitch. It's going to be quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not wasting time.
I hope he doesn't let up.
Yep.
All right, brother. Have a good day.
You too, man. Appreciate the call, as always.
Matt, I was listening to the broadcast, and when that guy hit that home run, the first thing Jim Ellis said was, "That reminds me of Will Clark."
Hey,
Will Clark hit a few like that.
Jim has seen him with his own eyes.
Yes, he has.
Clark would square a couple up that you lose it, like it leaves the lights in a night game. Like the lights are shining a certain direction toward the field, and it gets beyond those lights. It's just gone. You never see it again. J-Rock with a good point here in his text on the Country Pleasing text line says Logan Tanner will only play one more year at Mississippi State, and I think that's pretty much a guarantee. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he's big-time, high-end prospect, draft prospect as a guy behind the plate. Major big league arm, hitting for power, super-duper exit velocity, which they know is going to translate into what you saw last night. You can't – and once the swings, he starts dialing it in, he just sees more pitches because of the pop in the bat and the exit velocity. You can't make any mistakes against him or he hits it out of the ballpark. And he's starting to do that with a little more regularity for sure. Ready Teddy texted the show. What'd he say? He says, I'm ready for football season. Hotty toddy. Outstanding. Hey, over here on Facebook, Danny said Rowdy's catch was worth the price of admission. Travis is entering his submission of what he thinks the letters on the home run helmet for State mean. The letters YBSI. He thinks it stands for your boy smoked it. That's good. I like that suggestion. I like it. Elizabeth commented on Facebook and said, Hail State from Texas. It'll be exactly 4 months on Sunday since we beat Texas on February the 20th. Let's hope we can stay in the winning column against the Longhorns. Better believe I'm wearing my MSU maroon every day until further notice. And that's the way it ought to be. The way it ought to be. I know Double B, I know you were hanging on. If you are able to jump back on here, give me a call back in a few minutes and we'll talk. If not, shoot me a text or comment. More of those comments, texts, feedback, reaction. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll come back and I'll let you hear what the coaches had to say. But we still got a little ways to go before that happens here on this Tuesday show. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Arrived today. Jeans do come true. Thank you, Blue Delta. Yeah, jeans do come true. That's what the bag says. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi, my hometown. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit. Design a jean. And before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. Again, that's if you listen to me, you can use discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. And at checkout, you're going to get a 10% discount off your order. So I just went online, ordered them. BlueDeltaJeans.com a couple weeks ago. Went in, I didn't go get measured. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are at my doorstep a couple weeks later. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Nice. I'm happy. I've known the Blue Delta team for years, and I'm thrilled to have these guys on as a sponsor of this show. Blue Delta's Virtual Tailor is a fun and easy way to get yourself into the best fitting pair of jeans you're ever going to own. But you never Thought you'd get a butt shot out of me, huh? How about that? Just answer the questions, and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions. It's amazing how they do it. They will fit perfectly. You're not going to find better material and better feeling pants, period, anywhere. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. I promise you that. And I know that you are going to love them too. Make sure you use the code. And remember, jeans do come true.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Let me tell you about an ice cream can't be beat.
The very best tasting you can eat.
It's Meadow, 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 Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. Go to your ice cream man today, and here's the word that you should say. Oh, give me Meadow, Meadow, Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. And remember, folks, Meadow Gold
Is mighty good.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
6 o'clock, dinner time. Thank goodness for Jell-O Instant Pudding.
Yes, thank goodness for Jell-O Instant Pudding. The terrific busy day dessert you can make at the very last minute. See how quick and easy. Just add it to cold milk and beat it up. That's all. By the time you're ready to eat it, it's all ready for you. Jell-O Instant Pudding, made by the famous Jell-O folks. So creamy, so nourishing, so delicious. No other instant pudding is quite the same. Stock your shelves with all 7 flavors. The good busy day dessert. Jell-O Instant Pudding.
Line at thezone1059.com and on your radio on ESPN 105.9. The Zone.
All right, back with you. Call, text, comment. Coming to more of that. Thanks for tuning in today, being a part of the show. We were talking about has your expectations changed a little bit as a State fan since this is your 3rd time in a row to go to Omaha? Jeff, who's tuning in on YouTube, said, as a State fan, you can't take anything for granted. And that's right. I mean, certainly that's kind of what I was leading into at the beginning of the show, saying, be careful about taking these Omaha trips for granted. I mean, step back for a minute and just understand how rare an occurrence it is to be a fan of a team that not only goes to Omaha multiple times in a short period of time, not only goes back-to-back years, no, 3 straight years. It's unheard of. Anna commented on the same subject on Facebook, says, you're right. Can't forget how special it is. Dave commented on Facebook, says, boy, feeling a lot better today. Go Dogs. Super proud of their performance. Never say die. They definitely have some fight in them. Sven on YouTube says, my money's on Tennessee. The Vols in Omaha. They're as hot as it gets. I wish I was wrong and we win it all, but the Vols are good. Hey, they are. If you look at those two sides of the bracket, just real quick, let me do that. And then I'm coming to your text. Handyman, Wally, J-Rock, Bama Fan, Jackson, Rebel Greg, others. I'm coming to your text. But first, I just wanted to take a look here real quick at the other, the way the bracket is set up. So on Mississippi State's side of the bracket, you have the number 2 overall seed, Texas. That's the highest seed overall when this thing was seeded back before the regionals. The highest seed remaining is Texas, the number 2 overall seed. Remember, Arkansas was 1, Texas was 2. So on State's side, you have Texas. You have the number 3 overall seed, Tennessee. You have the number 7 overall seed, Mississippi State. And then you have Virginia, who was a 3 seed in the Columbia, South Carolina regional. So odds are against Virginia, but crazy things can happen. Certainly we know that. And they got to go up against Tennessee. On the other side, the 4 teams are the number 4 overall seed, Vandy. The number 5 overall seed, Arizona. The number 9 overall seed, Stanford. And then NC State, who was the 2 seed, right, in the Fayetteville regional. So, again, you have 8 teams remaining in this thing in Omaha. Of those 8 teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them were top 8 national seeds. 5 of the 8 were top 8 national seeds. And Stanford, a 6th, was the number 9 seed. And then you have a 2 seed in NC State and a 3 seed in Virginia. That's who remains. So you go, all right, who's got the chances? This is what we do know. Okay, Texas is number 2 overall seed for a reason. State beat them at the first weekend of the year. You know, Texas seems to be a little better since then, certainly. But on that side of the bracket, State has as good a chance as any of those teams to play themselves into the final. And then you just basically, well, who makes the plays and who hits the ball and who pitches it the best. Tennessee is hot as a firecracker. They are very, very good. There is a legit chance we could have a Vandy-Tennessee national championship series. And, I mean, a legit chance. I don't know that Vanderbilt at the plate scares anybody the way some of these past Vanderbilt teams have, like the ones with Blade and some of those. The thing that's scary about Vanderbilt at the plate now is their leadoff guy, Bradfield, who he gets on base, he's on third. You might as well just step back and say, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Just save us all the energy and the trouble. Go ahead and go to third. Because if he wants to steal second base, he's going to steal it. If he wants to take third, he's going to take it. There's almost nothing anybody can do leads the country in that, or certainly leads Division I in that way. But it's their pitching, right? It's Kumar Rocker followed up by Jack Leiter. Vandy's 1 and 2 are better than anybody else's 1 and 2 in this tournament. Period. Hands down. Period. Texas is number 1. Everybody argues is as good as Rocker or whatever. I don't think so. He's great, but he ain't that good. So from a pitching standpoint, starting pitching, it's Vandy. From a pitching depth standpoint, Mississippi State is as good as anybody in there. So the question is that offense that you saw hit the ball all over the park last night against some back-end pitching for Notre Dame, can that show up in Omaha? Because if it does, then you got a chance. If it doesn't, some other teams maybe, more favored and maybe more so should be. All right, here we go. Country Please and text line. 885-ESPN, 601 number, 885-ESPN. Handyman texts the show. He says, Handyman here, got to have something to do with this banana. Can't wait for Omaha. The banana thing's old, right? I mean, that's a few years ago. Bring them back. I don't care. I think it's cool. I like the bananas. Wally says that home run ball hit a red tent that was close to the stadium fence behind the student section, and it had to be 450 feet. Had to be. At least 450, Wally, because you're right. Anybody who's ever been there, right field, you say the student section. Well, it's what you don't understand. Again, here's a plug. Go watch that 360 interactive video I posted on YouTube. There's a link on Twitter, but watch it and go to YouTube. Look for Matt Wyatt Media. Look for Radio Wyatt. Just search my name. You'll see it. Find my YouTube channel. And the most recent video is a 360 interactive video, and it walks from one foul pole to the other, from right field to left field. And you'll see if you scroll around and thumb through the 360 that there's this giant concrete walkway that goes around the entire stadium. And so in the outfield, as you're walking on the walkway, field is to your left. Down below you, down to the outfield fence, is the first section of students. And then behind you and up in those risers and bleachers, behind you is another section of students. He hit him over that. He hit the ball over them. I mean, if there's not a fence back there, it bounces once and he's in the parking lot. Crushed it. Bama fan says that was a 3-1, 94-mile-an-hour fastball that left the yard at 110 miles per hour. His 22nd home run of the year. I mean, that's it. And Landon Sims got in a 3-1 count, got to throw him a strike, and he tattooed it. Jackson Mailman says there's a lot to be said for a veteran team. No freshmen in Notre Dame's lineup. 6 seniors, 3 juniors. They did a great job hitting in defense. They really did. Their approach at the plate is good as anybody State saw all year long. Rebel Greg, what are you showing me there? Are these high school football rankings? Because Prattville's in there. High school football's most hostile environments. Oh, okay. I don't know who ranked this, but they had my alma mater in Alabama, Prattville High School, in there in the top 10. It ain't no fun to go to Stanley Stadium, I promise you, downtown Prattville, right on the creek. If the Prattville Lions don't carry you away, the Mosquitoes will. One or the other. Trust me. Charlie texted, he said, you mentioned yesterday that if we went to Omaha, it may be time to recognize that Lamonis is a really good coach. I agree, it's time. Hey, Charlie, that guy is the real deal. This is amazing. Squirrel says 3 years is a dynasty, in my opinion. Well, and see, I don't, maybe, but, 3 in a row going to Omaha, and baseball's so much more fluky and different than, say, football. Just ask Arkansas. But, if we start talking about dynasties, like, don't you have to win it? Still? I don't know. But, and dynasty is a big word, but it's just incredible. You sit here and you go, year after year after year, 3 straight teams. Tanner Allen and Rowdy Jordan have never finished a season at Mississippi State that wasn't in Omaha, and this is their last year. White Denzel says, Matt, am I the only one who noticed the final score last night was 11-7, a.k.a. 11.7 baseball scholarships? How about that? I'll be honest with you, I saw it and I thought 11.7, 7-11. Open all night. Yep. Downtown in the Cotton District is going to be open all night. Unfortunately, on a Monday night. I shouldn't have thought that, but I did think that. Boomer Sooner says, Matt, don't tell State fans, but getting to Omaha ain't that hard. Just ask Chris. We will never. Boomer, you guys are never, ever going to let Chris live that down. Trey says, I'm so proud of our boys. Bottom third of the lineup was clutch last night. Go finish things. That's another thing. Yes, I was looking at the production in the bottom of State's lineup last night. So spots 6, 7, and 8. No, 5, 6, 7, and 8 last night went a combined 7 for 14. They batted .500 in the game, scored 5 runs, and drove in 6. And that's 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the lineup. It's pretty doggone incredible. It really is. Okay. The last hour of the show is coming up in just a bit. And when we come back, I'm going to let you hear what the coaches said following that game last night, both from Notre Dame and Mississippi State. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We are about to have a fire and cook some sausage. A country pleasing sausage is outstanding whether you cook it over a fire or in the house. Cook some of this right here. It's green onion flavor. You see that? But this right here is my favorite, the maple flavor. And this is great for breakfast. It's awesome cooking it in the house because it makes the whole house smell good. Oh yeah. Let's eat country pleasing sausage, the best, hands down. If you go to countrypleasing.com, you can actually order this and deliver it to your house. Country pleasing sausage, hands down, the best. Trust me. Davini Equipment, Spring Ridge Road in Jackson, Highway 51 in Madison. Hey y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if, who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, BlueDeltaJeans.com. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Just answered the questions, and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions, use this code. Use the code, you're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn, and I know that you are going to love them too.
On the dock. Wow, doesn't a Blizzard treat sound good? Stop by DQ and grab one today to find out for yourself with just one bite. With flavors like Oreo, cookie dough, and more. DQ, happy tastes good.
This is WRKS Pickens Jackson. Live
in the studio.
Live and local. This is the Matt Wyatt Show. Talking about sports from around the world and right here at home. Streaming to you at the Zone, 1059.com, and on your radio on ESPN 105.9. The Zone.
All right, here we go. Let's start it off. This is normally hour number 3 of the show. Today we started it an hour later, so it's only the second hour. This is what I do know. I've got an hour left with you here, presented by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. So this hour every day on the show, presented by Overstreet. What you need to know is if you're headed to Starkville for anything residential, like you're going to live there, you're moving to Starkville, need a place to live, like a place to build a home that's already built, anything residential, including maybe not living there permanently. Maybe you come into town for ball games. You need a condo that's yours when you come into town 10, 15 weekends out of the year. You're a student or you have a student going to school there. You need to lease an apartment. Anything like that, go to Overstreet. It's Overstreet Properties and overstreetproperties.com. Tell them I said howdy. Get your comments in, your comments on the live stream, Facebook, YouTube. Pop them up there. Type it in. I'll see it. Get to some of that. Coming back to your text, Squirrel and Louvier and Bama Fan and others on the Country Pleasing text line, 885-ESPN. It's a 601 number, 885-ESPN or 885-3776. Text away. And just a few minutes, I'm going to play some audio, let you hear what the coaches said in their press conferences after last night's game. State an 11-7 winner. Heck of a season for Notre Dame. And look, they absolutely are an Omaha-worthy team. A College World Series worthy team. They just are. But that's the beauty of a full-fledged playoff is you don't get into the picture just because somebody says you deserve to. You get in because you're one of 64 teams that earned a shot. Now, here's the ball. You figure it out. That's the beauty of it. Stuff like that happens. Teams like Notre Dame and Arkansas don't get to Omaha every year. Makes it that much more incredible that this Mississippi State program for 3 years in a row has made a trip to the College World Series of one of the last 8 teams. Buddy of mine, Robert, texted me and said that, and just a reminder, State has been to Omaha in 6 consecutive decades, which it's not just, you got to be more than a young whippersnapper to have lived through all of those. That's pretty incredible. So get your comments in here. All of that coming your way. Let's see. Junior said on Facebook, Matt, the magic at the Dude for players that are not going to be back next year is awesome. Rowdy and TA were both huge last night with those diving catches. Maybe not as magic as Mangum's last hit or Big Mac's home run. Did y'all see that picture of Tanner Allen, Rowdy Jordan, arm in arm, walking off the field one last time over there by third base? And I thought to myself, that'll be a painting pretty soon. You watch and see. Kyle commented on YouTube. He said, Hoover didn't look like they put much effort into those games. I'd like to see how Tennessee does with a motivated State team in that big ballpark. Yeah. I mean, Hoover is what it is. It's the most fun thing I go to every year in terms of a conference event like that. I love it. Love going to Hoover for the SEC baseball tournament, whether State's in it or not. I just love going. I love it. Everything about it. But it just doesn't have any bearing whatsoever on the NCAA tournament. It's apples, oranges. We've learned that. We've seen that. I go back to those Ray Tanner, South Carolina teams. They went to Omaha, won back-to-back national championships. A few weeks earlier, they were in Hoover, bounced. 2-Q, see you, back to Columbia. Happens all the time. Well, it doesn't happen all the time, but it happened. Will said, Hail State Matt, excited to watch the Dogs in Omaha. When it comes to winning baseball, I think luck is always a key ingredient. This year we've had good luck with few injuries so far, and that is, you're right, you got to have some luck. Some things have to bounce your way for sure for that to happen, no question about it. All right, let's do a little chatting on the phone line, shall we? First up over here on line 1, Ryan. Thanks for calling, Ryan. What's up?
Hey, I think I may have made a Beaver and Chris mad this morning.
Oh, what happened?
I did. So I was listening to them for a while, and then when I was working out in the field, and I came back in, and decided I'd call them, but I decided I'd do the most mediocre John Madden impression and say the most expected things, the most generic things.
Yeah.
And they did not like it at all.
They did what? Hey, Ryan.
They hated it. It was funny. It was so funny.
They hated it. Hey, Ryan, what part of their show did you do that? Do you remember about what time, like ballpark?
I think around like 11. I think it may have been around like 11:04 or something like that.
Okay, so early on in their second hour of their show.
Yeah.
Okay, I am going to go back and find that audio, Ryan. Thanks for the heads up.
I think Beaver said, we leave that subpar, those subpar impressions for Matt's show.
Oh, Ryan, that is
terrible.
Hey, Ryan,
they're good sports about it. I'll send them a melon.
Yeah, send them a Smith County melon for a couple of melon heads. Send them a melon. Hey, just for us, just for Bill, before Bill has to go do some live show stuff. What would Charles Barkley say about Beaver and Chris's reaction?
Man, I tell you what, they act like a bunch of knuckleheads, man. I'll tell you this. They're saltier than the Dead Sea, man. I mean, terrible. Salty little knuckleheads.
Yes.
Saltier than a payday burr.
Payday burr. Oh, Ryan. Love you, buddy. Thank you.
And just as nutty.
And just as nutty.
Salty, nutty, and caramel deliciousness.
Thank you,
knucklehead.
All right. See you later, knucklehead. Terrible. They said he did a terrible.
Terrible.
I cannot wait to go back and find that audio to hear it for myself. It's coming. We're going to hear that. All right. Next up is our friend up in Baltimore, Maryland. Jay, what do you think?
Hey, man. Oh, man, what a night that was. I'll just say that Notre Dame lived up to its nickname. They are a fighting group, Fighting Irish there. Deserve a lot of respect, and we beat a really, really good team. Mm-hmm. So I missed the first hour. Not sure if you guys talked about this, but one of the things I love to watch on and maybe catch on the internet after a game is when Lemonis gives out his game jersey. So not sure who he gave that to. I was wondering if you knew, and if you did know, it's okay. But who does Matt Wyatt give that game jersey to last night? If you go down the roster and the list of names that were worthy, I mean, Rowdy didn't get a hit, but wow, what a big play, a stolen base. He scored 2 runs. Tanner had the home run. I thought that the play from the home run by Logan Tanner was just huge. What Sims did. Who do you give that game jersey to last night?
In a normal situation, I would have given it to Logan Tanner. Okay, in a normal situation, meaning any other game, okay, because he had 2 hits. He was 2 for 4. He drove in 3 runs, obviously, and he also had, the 2 hits were extra basers, a home run and a double. Almost an identical stat line to Tanner Allen, except he had 1 more RBI than Allen did. Tanner was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs, and both of his hits were extra basers, a double and a home run. But because of the play in the field, along with his night at the plate, 2 hits, an extra base, or 1 that leaves the yard, and the fact that it's the last time he'll ever play in that stadium, on that field, and be in that dugout, I'd give the shirt to Tanner Allen. That's just me.
Yeah, well, that's obviously a sentimental pick for sure and a great pick. But I got to tell you, for me, while it would be easy to give to Landon Sims and obviously Logan Tanner, but I think with the pressure on Houston Harding being the starter, not really knowing for sure these last few weeks if anybody has any true trust in our Game 3 starter, what he did, he wasn't perfect, but I think anybody would have taken 2 earned runs in 4 innings and big strikeout of Cavadas. I thought he really deserved it, and without him, I just don't know if we would have got the victory.
What a great point. And Jay, all right, to cap this off, listen, John on Facebook tells me that Landon Sims actually got the shirt. Now, listen to this. All right, so Landon Sims threw 4 innings. He normally doesn't pitch 4 innings, okay? So they went to him, and I'm sure they're thinking, look, against that lineup of hitters, all those seniors, juniors, against that lineup of hitters, to keep them away, and to hold them under 8 runs, we give him the shirt. But listen to the comparison between Harding's start and Landon Sims' finish. They both pitched 4 innings.
That's right.
All right. Harding gave up 4 hits. Sims gave up 3. They both gave up 2 runs. They both struck out 4 batters. Their stat lines are almost identical. Isn't that amazing?
It is, and the difference is, I know later in the game it gets a lot of pressure, but he did have a 4-run lead, right? Harding was down 1-0 in the first and had to pitch those second, third, and fourth. So I guess they in the first. That's right. Mm-hmm. They got the big runs in the second, but yeah, hey, great night, super excited, and looking forward to next week.
Same here, Jay. Thanks for your call as always. Looking forward to the College World Series. Okay, as I told you, I'm going to let you hear what it sounded like. This is post game. Let's start off with some comments from Notre Dame coach Link Jarrett. I think he knows it. Everybody knows it that understands baseball. He had a College World Series caliber team. There's no question about it. He did. And he talked a little bit about just what a tough draw it was to have to go to Dudy Noble Field and play that team in front of that fan base.
You learn a lot when you're in this environment. You also learn how beneficial it is to be at home for this event. Thought we had a chance to do that. We probably ended up at the most passionate fan base baseball program in the country. There's a few that are in this conversation, but we learned a lot. I felt like our team learned how to win. Felt like we learned how to play as a team. We were not good enough today. We couldn't get out of our own way on the mound early in the game. Bertrand probably pitched better today than he did when he started Saturday, quite frankly, and we did not know how that was going to go for him. He hadn't done that before, and I didn't want to ever put anyone in a position of not feeling comfortable with that type of assignment or even request to see if you were available. He thought he could get us an inning, maybe 2, and once he got into it, and he felt really good. So there were some guys that went out there today, I think, on the mound that felt this stage for the first time. We had minimal experience on the pitching staff, and those guys got their feet wet, and it didn't go the way we had planned. I thought we battled throughout the entire game. That is a really good baseball team. They're athletic. They have arms just one after the other that are all very good. They're well coached, and they were better tonight.
Up next, we'll go to Mark Skoll.
Hey, Coach. Just how much of a bummer is it to just get this close to the College World Series and to just miss out? And then can you just reflect on just how special of a season this was? I mean, really, from that first home game with Ryan Cole hitting a walk-off to win it to making it this far, something that Notre Dame hasn't done in a very long time.
Yeah, it really stings. I mean, we knew this was a very tough draw. Again, they're an elite team, and it's just unfortunate that you feel like you have a team that's capable and belongs in Omaha, and you run into this group in their stadium, and I tip my hat to their team and their crowd. And I do feel like our guys learned a lot, and I felt like they competed and battled, and there were moments in it where I thought we really played our style of baseball. There were other moments where we didn't pitch or defend at the level we did this year, and this is not a forgiving stadium. And it really is. It's a tough pill to swallow to know that you were 9 innings away, and the second inning was just simply too much to overcome with the arms that they have.
All right, that's Link Jarrett post-game head coach Notre Dame. Here's a little of Chris Lemonis looking at what he's able to accomplish with this bunch this year.
Well, Chris, first thing I want to get to is Clark and Palmero didn't do it.
By the way, great question to start the press conference off by Steve Robertson. We'll make sure he gets the credit.
Dubose and those guys didn't do it, but now Rowdy and TA, 3 Omaha appearances. I mean, what does it say about their legacy at Mississippi State that they've never ended a season anywhere other than Omaha, Nebraska?
Yeah, it's pretty special, and we spoke about it in our office today, like there's no way Tanner and Rowdy are going out with an L in this ballpark, and I like having the odds of them being on our team playing for what we were playing for, and it's pretty special. I mean, when you look up and you see what they've done in their career, it's just a never say die attitude, and they were both really good tonight.
It's a challenge of every team in America trying to win a national championship to find a third starter and get production out of the bottom third of the order. Tonight you got both, and I mean, how does that feel? Kind of going to Omaha thinking you got some production down there at the bottom of the order, but also too you may have identified your third guy.
Yeah, Hootie was good. I mean, there were a lot of decisions last night. We're sitting and watching games, and I get a text message, as I'm watching some of the games last night from Landon Sims. Coach, I'm ready. You can use me any way you want me. And I'm sitting on my couch, and I knew that meant we could extend him. He early in the year he was throwing 60, 70 pitches a appearance. So, but we felt like getting started with Hootie, going through the lineup once or twice. Our goal was to get 5. We got 4. We just felt like Landon would be a good matchup. Obviously, it's a good matchup against anybody, but these guys were hot. I mean, they're not only are they talented, but they were hot, and we had to show them some different looks tonight.
All right, that's Chris Lemonis after the ball game last night. May get some more of that later. For now, I'm going to jump over here to the Country Pleasing text line, 885-ESPN. Earlier, Squirrel texted. He said 3 years to Omaha is a dynasty, in his opinion. He said 3 out of 4 he thinks would still be a dynasty. Because I was asking, for it to actually be a dynasty, you have to go win one. And I think it puts it in perspective how tough it is, how rare it is. I mean, it's just incredible. Not only back-to-back trips with a first and second year coach. He takes them over, they go 1-2. No, I mean, this is 3 trips in a row for this program with Henderson, who took over for another guy as the interim. They go to Omaha, and then Lemonis comes in and they go 2 more in a row. So 3 consecutive trips to Omaha. It's just, I mean, it's something, we may never see it again. It's just incredible. And I just wonder, like, how do you stop and put it in perspective and soak it in properly without taking some of it for granted? That's the worry there. Louvier texted the show. We were talking about these football stadiums. There's an interesting list somebody sent me. I guess it was Rebel Greg, of hostile high school football environments, and they listed the high school I went to in the top 10, Prattville High School over in Alabama. Let me go back. Greg, did they have any Mississippi schools in there? You got Elder. You got Valdosta in Georgia, Permian in Texas, Allen, Texas, West Monroe, Louisiana. Oscar Smith. No, don't have any Mississippi ones. And Louvier says Lake Mississippi Football Stadium should be the most hostile environment for the visitors because of the well-stocked cow pasture right behind the bleachers. The way it should be. Why would you put the home side over there? Bama fan says, did y'all see where the Campbell University players thanked the Mississippi State fans after the game last week, and the MSU fans sent them home with some food? It was great. I did see that, Bama fan. It was neat. The players for Campbell kind of circled the outfield around the wall on the warning track and were high-fiving the fans. And then you look up, and by the time they started in right field, and by the time the Campbell players got to left center, several of them are holding those big aluminum pans full of food that just came off the grill. Like, one's full of, like, crawfish and shrimp and corn and potatoes. And then here comes another guy. He's got a pan full of chicken. And you know good and well they ate good on their way back to the hotel and at the hotel. I bet that bus driver had a heck of a cleanup on his hands afterwards. Unnamed texter said Notre Dame felt like Arizona in 2016, except this time we took down the hottest team in the tournament. Do you agree? And doesn't it make us now the team to beat? Okay, so you took Arizona in 16. So you're talking about how State felt when Arizona came in there and took 2 out of 3 from State. Yeah. Because that State team knew that they were Omaha caliber. It just, It didn't happen. And the same thing for Notre Dame. I think you're right. No doubt. Tough environment to have to play in. White Denzel, regarding the impression earlier, Ryan said he called in to their show, did an impression, and they didn't like it. White Denzel says, to be fair, Brooks loved the John Madden impression. Beaver was not impressed. Oh, it's fantastic. That's one thing I love about those guys is none of them take the approach that they have to agree on anything. Pookie. My dad has a saying. I don't know if he came up with it or he heard it, but he says, if you and I agree on everything, one of us isn't thinking. It's a good point. Pookie texted the show. He said, if it weren't for the big second inning, I'm not sure Hail State gets the win. When they put Bertrand back in, he mowed him down left and right. Hey, and Pookie, I don't know if it was in that clip, but it was at some point in the postgame, Notre Dame's coach, Link Jarrett, said, Bertrand goes in, and he was actually better tonight, last night, than he was in his start in game one, and he was. He was more effective and threw harder and sharper, and the breaking ball was better and everything. And he did. He cooled, stayed off a little bit with that start. Sorry, I just took a gulp of hot coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany, and it was hotter than I thought it would be when I got a big old throat full of it. All right, more of your texts coming up, but I will tell you this. Today, we are 81 days away from Saturday, September the 4th, the first big full Saturday of college football. So today, in a few minutes, we'll do the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days, and it'll be team number 81 from the state of Texas. There's your lone hint. Stick around for that. We'll get you that preview coming up. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Stay with me.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Arrived today. Jeans do come true. Thank you, Blue Delta. Yeah, jeans do come true. That's what the bag says. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi, my hometown. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. Again, that's if you listen to me, you can use discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, and at checkout, you're going to get a 10% discount off your order. So I just went online, ordered them, BlueDeltaJeans.com a couple weeks ago. Went in, I didn't go get measured. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are at my doorstep a couple weeks later. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Nice. I'm happy. I've known the Blue Delta team for years, and I'm thrilled to have these guys on as a sponsor of this show. Blue Delta's Virtual Tailor is a fun and easy way to get yourself into the best fitting pair of jeans you're ever going to own. Bet you never thought you'd get a butt shot out of me, huh? How about that? Just answer the questions and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions. It's amazing how they do it. They will fit perfectly. You're not going to find better material and better feeling pants, period, anywhere. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. I promise you that. And I know that you are going to love them too. Make sure you use the code. And remember, jeans do come true.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Let me tell you about an ice cream can't be beat.
The very best tasting you can eat.
It's Meadow, 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 Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. Go to your ice cream man today, and here's the word that you should say. Oh, give me Meadow, Meadow, Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. And remember, folks, Meadow Gold
Is mighty good.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
6 o'clock, dinner time. Thank goodness for Jell-O Instant Pudding.
Yes, thank goodness for Jell-O Instant Pudding. The terrific busy day dessert you can make at the very last minute. See how quick and easy. Just add it to cold milk and beat it up. That's all. By the time you're ready to eat it, it's all ready for you. Jell-O Instant Pudding, made by the famous Jell-O folks. So creamy, so nourishing, so delicious. No other instant pudding is quite the same. Stock your shelves with all 7 flavors. The good busy day dessert. Jell-O Instant Pudding.
Wyatt Show on the 50,000 watt sports powerhouse. ESPN 105.9 The Zone and streaming.
Check it out online now
at thezone1059.com.
In the world of Ole Miss baseball, all eyes are on Mike Bianco. Pretty strong reporting out there that he is one of 2 main candidates in the running for that LSU job. He and his former assistant, Cliff Godwin from East Carolina. You know, and every day that goes by, you know, you happen to wonder. And there's some reporting out there that people saying, hey, you know, if Bianco does leave and go and take the LSU job, then you feel really good about Ole Miss hiring an elite candidate. You have to wonder, okay, if Cliff Godwin doesn't get the LSU job, does he leave East Carolina to go and coach the Ole Miss job? You don't know. But and the other thing I wondered, too, you know how a lot of high school coaches double dip? Now, Mike Bianco's been making $1 million plus a year for a long time. You know, money's not an issue, but he does have 3 sons in college baseball. Therefore, none of them are on full scholarship at these universities, right? And he's paying for all of them. Okay, that can get expensive. And I'm just wondering if a college coach would double dip, could he retire in Mississippi? Has he been? I don't guess he's been here long enough, has he? If it's 21 years, how long you got to be in Mississippi to retire if you're in the PERS? Is it 25 minimum? I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm wondering, can he retire here and then go there and double dip? Is he even in the state retirement? I'm assuming he is. See, all those assumptions, and you know what happens when you assume, and the letter, you know, the word if. David texted the show and he said, Matt, if is the most disgusting word in sports. If. If I had just gotten my head around a little quicker, I wouldn't have gotten a concussion. You're right. It is a disgusting word. If I wait too long, then Bill won't be able to be a part of the 100 teams in 100 days countdown. So I want to do it now. Team number 81 in the countdown of 100 teams is... the SMU Fighting Mustangs. Yeah, Pony Express. The SMU football complex back in the 1970s. The land of milk and honey. And fancy cars and cash, baby! All right, SMU. They got a pretty good band, though, by the way. I mean, you have to admit they do. They getting down. Come on. What conference are they in? They're in the AAC. They are in the AAC. And this year, let's see, out of conference, they don't really have a big time out of conference matchup, except they do play TCU. That's pretty much it. Week 4, they go to TCU. So this year for SMU, it's Abilene Christian and North Texas 1-2. They'll go 2-0. Then they go to Louisiana Tech in week 3. Then at TCU week 4. That's the month of September. And then here they are in conference play. They have home games against South Florida, Tulane, UCF, and Tulsa. Road games in the conference against Navy, Houston, Memphis, and Cincinnati. It's a pretty tough conference schedule for SMU because those teams, I mean, they're not beating many of those teams on the road. Cincinnati on the road, Memphis on the road, Houston on the road, Navy on the road. Not to mention their big non-conference TCU at TCU. It is not a very friendly schedule this year for SMU, the Mustangs. Last year, how about this? They had a pretty good year last year. We forget they went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-0, and then lost to Cincinnati to go 5-1. 6, 7-1 after wins over Navy and Temple, and then lost their last 2 games to Tulsa and East Carolina. So they finished the season 7-3, played 10 games. They had the UTSA game got canceled. They tried to play the Houston game twice. It got canceled twice. They didn't get to play TCU when it was scheduled. I mean, so it was very hit and miss for them. But they managed it okay. Had a 4-point loss to that same Tulsa team that State beat in the bowl game. That's a little look at SMU. Bill, you still here? Bill gone? And Bill's gone. He gone. Well, shoot. Bill had looked up for me. I'm going to see if I can look it up. Beaver, how are you, by the way, sir?
I'm doing all right, Matt Wyatt. How are you today?
Peachy. In just a minute, I'm going to do my John Madden impression. Stick around for that, okay? Oh, that was it. Ryan got a kick out of it, too. Okay, yeah, famous. This is what Bill found. SMU, Southern Methodist University, Pony Express. Beaver, you're going to know some of these names. They are loaded with famous alumni. And they got like several billionaires in terms of alumni. Some of these you would have no idea. For instance, Kourtney Kardashian went to SMU. Laura Bush. Doak Walker, for whom the award is named. Kathy Bates. Now, what's that movie? She's been in a bunch of movies, Beaver, but Kathy Bates, when she played the character in The Office of the woman who lived in Florida that owned the company.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of her character in that. But anyway, Kathy Bates.
Joe Bennett.
That's it. Joe. She was always getting frustrated with Michael. She always walked around with was it one or two big, those big, huge, humongous dogs?
Yeah, I think those were Great Danes.
Great Danes. I think it was. Escorted around by a couple of Great Danes. Clark Hunt of the Lamar Hunt family that owns the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, Eric Dickerson. There's a bunch of others. Let's see here. Aaron Spelling. There's a Hollywood deal for you. Brian Baumgartner, who played Kevin on The Office, went to SMU. Payne Stewart, the golfer, went to SMU. Jim Irsay, owner of the Colts. Don Meredith, Dandy Don Meredith, yes, of Monday Night Football. Well, before that, he was football famous, but then Monday Night Football famous. And he's at the end of the Monday night games, he'd sing, "Turn out the lights, the party's over." Remember, that's Don Meredith. Raymond Berry, great pass catcher for the Colts. Bryson DeChambeau, the golfer, the big bulked up golfer out there hitting 400-yard bombs on a fairway. The guy who played Dauber on Coach went to SMU. I only say that because I can't pronounce his last name. And, look at here, Rusty Hardin. Remember Roger Clemens' lawyer when he went in front of Congress, accused of steroids? Remember that? Yeah, Rusty Hardin. Yeah, he went to SMU. Sure did. Sure did. Anyway, there you go. SMU, the Pony Express. Team number 81 in the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days. We got a phone call on the Davini Equipment phone. Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson. Your Kubota dealer. It is Hank Dog. Hey, Hank. What's up?
Matty boy, I guess the Notre Dame pitching barrel was a little lower than we expected yesterday.
It was a little low. Mm-hmm.
What about Texas?
Whew. Well, they're pretty loaded.
How bad did they beat us there?
Well, no, State beat them. Yeah.
Oh, I thought they beat Texas Tech.
No, you talking about in that season opening tournament out in Texas?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
State beat Texas. The team that State lost to was TCU.
Okay.
Texas was the team that went to that event that first weekend, Hank, and didn't win a single ball game. Mm-hmm. And this number one
they
pitcher,
figured something out.
They sure did. And this number one pitcher of theirs, who is like super duper talent, draft prospect and everything, he pitched against State in that game out there to open the season, and State hit it all over the park. Had a bunch of line drive singles and just chased him from the game or whatever. But Texas, now that we're at the end of the season, Texas is the highest remaining seed in the tournament. They were the number 2 overall, seed in this tournament.
Arkansas was number 1.
Yeah, that's right. Arkansas was 1, Texas was 2, Tennessee is 3, and Vanderbilt was 4. Arizona is 5. I don't remember who was 6. Maybe Texas Tech, something like that. No, not Tech. Whoever was the 6th seed right ahead of State, I can't remember off the top of my head. And then State was a 7. So this is the way I framed it up earlier, Hank, just so we're all on the same page. Of the 8 teams remaining that are now in the College World Series, 5 of the 8 were top 8 national seeds. A 6th, Stanford, who is in, was a number 9 seed. And then you have NC State, who was the 2 seed in Fayetteville, and you have Virginia, who was the 3 seed in Columbia, South Carolina. So there is some talented competition in Omaha this year, man, for sure.
Ought to be a lot of fun.
I think so. Hank, it's always good to hear from you. Thanks for calling.
Thank you, bud.
Who was the number 6 seed? You had Arkansas 1, Texas 2. I'm looking. I'm still here, y'all. Just hang on. Texas 2. Who was 84? Tennessee 3. Who was 6? Shoot. I don't know. I'll find it later. Let's put it off. Why would I worry about something today when I could worry about it later? I'm Matt. Beaver is in to finish out for Bill. Okay, it was TCU was the 6th. Thanks, Denzel. I knew somebody knew. We'll wrap it up with you next. Y'all stick around.
You hear the name? After these messages, we'll be right back.
Better buy Birdseye. Better buy Birdseye.
Yes, always look for this Birdseye Bird, your guarantee of top quality frozen food. And your big Birdseye buy this week is Birdseye Orange Juice. Easy, you can serve it in a minute. Thrifty, it will save you money. Orchard fresh and delicious.
Better buy Birdseye. Better buy Birdseye.
Now, if you know your oats and want to feel your oats and taste how good an oat cereal can be, well, you'll go for Cheerios. Great way to start the day with really great eating. That's Cheerios, one of the few foods made from oats. The tasty cereal grain everyone should have at breakfast. Crisp and golden as only a toasted oat cereal can be. And nourishing? Why, a Cheerios breakfast gives you the power protein that grown-ups need to help stay in trim and youngsters need to grow on. Toasted oat goodness, toasted oat flavor, a delicious power breakfast. That's Cheerios.
Let me tell you about an ice cream can't be beat.
The very best tasting you can eat.
It's Meadow, 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 Meadow Smooth Freeze. Meadow Go. Go to your ice cream man today, and here's the word that you should say. Oh, give me Meadow, Meadow, Meadow Smooth Freeze, Meadow Gold. And remember, folks, Meadow Gold
Is mighty good.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
6 o'clock, dinner time. Thank goodness for Jell-O instant pudding.
Yes, thank goodness for Jell-O Instant Pudding. The terrific busy day dessert you can make at the very last minute. See how quick and easy. Just add it to cold milk and beat it up. That's all. By the time you're ready to eat it, it's all ready for you. Jell-O Instant Pudding, made by the famous Jell-O folks. So creamy, so nourishing, so delicious. No other instant pudding is quite the same. Stock your shelves with all 7 flavors. The good busy day dessert. Jell-O Instant Pudding.
To ESPN 105.9, The Zone.
Oh, my goodness. What a treat. What a treat. Well, I have 2 treats. And I think one of them just gave it away. One treat that just showed up in the studio doesn't laugh. It is yogurt from Chick-fil-A.
And a Diet Dr. Pepper.
And a Diet Dr. Pepper. And the other
And I couldn't find the Chick-fil-A straw that was in the bag, so I used a plastic one.
The other treat that's here talks, and her name is Mary Liddy.
Mary Liddy!
And Mary Liddy, our people on the live stream can see you for the first time since we have multiple cameras in here. Do what?
Since a long time.
What is a long time?
What kind of question is
I don't even know, but what are you talking about? Oh, it's been a long time since you were on the show.
since I was on the camera.
Oh, I see. Since you were on the show, it's been a long time. It has
Yeah,
been.
on the show, not on the camera, on the show. Yeah, on the show.
on
I
the
meant
show.
to say show.
Hey, Mary Liddy, who is out for summer break, sit up straight. Now, tell me this. You have been where today? You've been where? You've been somewhere.
I have been to Art Camp. That's why I have an apron on.
Yes. All right.
And I have some purple paint on it right there.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Art camp. What do you do at art camp? What have you been doing at art camp?
We painted a tree.
Yeah.
And we had some mason jars. And we painted them a color. And today we used some sandpaper to like sand them to make some of the like, you know how it has the ball like
Yeah.
on it? It
Yeah.
says ball mason.
Uh-huh.
We had sandpaper and we rubbed it to make it kind of show up more.
I see.
And
Okay.
tomorrow we're gonna wax it.
Oh, really? What's the purpose of that, I wonder?
We're gonna use it as kind of like a vase for flowers.
Really?
And the tree thing is so we painted it like we used this stuff. I don't know what it was called. It might have just been paint, just white paint, but it was something that was white, and we used it to like make texture on the canvas. We had a plain canvas, and then we just spread it all over it to make it like bumpy.
I see. Yeah, so it'd
Ish.
take the paint better, I guess.
Yeah, and then we let it dry, and we painted the like edges gold.
Oh, okay.
And today we painted a background. We painted over it. My table did mint, and another table did mint. And then other people did different colors.
Okay, very cool.
And then we put our hand down on it, and we didn't like put paint all over our hand and then stick it on like in kindergarten for turkey feathers at Thanksgiving. But that's what you do in kindergarten. You do that with your hand to make turkeys. And so we put it there. We traced it with either a pencil or a gold Sharpie. You could choose. I did a pencil.
Okay.
We colored the hand in brown to make it look like a tree trunk and branches.
Yeah.
Then we used this little, it wasn't like a paintbrush. It was a little different. It was like a dotting tool, but it was like squishy foam.
Oh, okay.
The ends were foam.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So we dipped it in paint, and we did 3 colors. We did like dots to make it look like a tree, different color leaves. And I used pink, it was light pink, like magenta-ish, like purple pinky, and a dark magenta.
Yeah. So tell me this: did you bring the painting home, or
Not yet. We have to let it dry there. I don't know when we're gonna take it home. Actually. We might take it home tomorrow. We might take it home at the end of the week. I don't know when we're gonna take it home.
Yeah. Well, you've had a lot of.
But eventually,
we
will take it home.
You've had a lot of activity since getting out of school. You had Bible school at church last week.
Yeah.
Right, and now this week you've got art camp.
Then I have to do I'm not like a contestant or anything, but the people that are contestants for the Miss Mississippi pageant, they have to have princesses. Me, my cousin, and a girl named Charlotte is gonna be we're gonna be the princesses.
Yeah, for the Miss Mississippi pageant.
For the Miss Mississippi pageant for
So you still have to
Holly Brand.
To do that, you still have to what? You still have to dress up, go on stage, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So we're gonna have like a white dress for like it's like the main dress that we like walk out on stage on.
Yeah, but hold on. There's something else you're going to be doing.
Oh yeah.
At the Miss Mississippi pageant.
So I'm gonna sing the national anthem at the beginning.
Right.
Like the intro thingy. I don't know why they do the national anthem and stuff like that.
Yeah. You think?
But they just always do.
All right,
It's on camera.
Yeah. That's why I switched the camera shot. It's because I knew she didn't want to be on camera. In case you're wondering what just happened, so Annabeth came up here.
She still looks beautiful.
That's what she does, but she doesn't want to be on camera. And as soon as she stepped in the room, I switched the camera shot over to me, and you told her we're on camera, and she backed out of here like she's seen a ghost. Did not want to be on camera. What was she telling you though? Something about
What is it, Mama? What? I'm singing on a preliminary night.
Okay.
That's not that important.
Hey, Mary, if you scream into that microphone, you know it's screaming on the radio. You know that, right? Okay, we have a question for you. This is Caleb, who's watching the show on YouTube right now, Mary, and he says, has she practiced her wave? Like you know what I mean? Like a pageant girl does a certain wave. You don't just do like this.
You don't go,
hi,
everybody.
All right, so give me a Show me your wave. Let me see it. She's being silly. She's been in a parade before, so she knows how to do the wave. All right, so what's on your schedule for the rest of the day?
Okay, so tomorrow after art camp, my friend
No, I meant today.
Oh, okay.
Do you know? Or we're just gonna hang out. All right, I'm so sorry that I interrupted you. All right, back to what you were saying. What are you doing tomorrow? Just go with that.
After art camp, my friend Audrey Robertson, and my friend Nikki Short, they are both at the art camp, and we're gonna pick them up tomorrow after art camp, and we're gonna go to the country club pool together.
Oh, you're gonna go swimming?
Yeah.
Let me just tell y'all who are listening here something about
And on
this little
Saturday,
girl.
we're gonna go to Vicksburg.
This little girl, when she starts
When I
swimming,
see a pool, I jump in. I might have a dress on or anything. I will jump
if I see
into
a
the
pool, I jump. The kid loves to swim. Hey, by the way,
I like doing the diving board, but I don't dive. It's jump.
Gator Greg called yesterday, and he said his prediction is that you're going to go to the University of Florida on the swim team. What do you think about that? No? Yes? Maybe? Whatever. If you go to
Maybe.
if you go to Mississippi State, what are you going to be? What are you going to major in?
Maybe like an architect or a math teacher.
Oh, okay. So we're not going to do the vet? Not going to be a vet anymore?
No. When I was little, I'm like, I love animals, so I'm going to be a vet. That's not what a vet does. They don't just sit around and play with animals all day.
No, they don't.
So,
no.
And then I started thinking about it really hard. When I was little, I thought they just kind of helped him to get better and give him medicine and stuff. But then I'm like, but sometimes you have to like
do some pretty tough stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even if like it was a turtle or something.
We got some text messages here on the show. MSU 1980 said, Matt, having your family involved in the show makes it real. I always enjoy the show, but especially when you have your family on. Well, we would have put Annabeth on here, but as soon as we told her the camera was on, she ran out of here like she's seen a ghost.
Here's the ghost.
She backed out. Woodrow said, tell Annabeth and Mary that Woodrow says hello. He says that your appearances on the radio show should be endorsed by a pool company since you like I love pools. Denzel said, Mary Liddy, I used to work at a camp in West Mississippi called Central Hills. It's a camp you'd love. They have crafts, archery, canoes, horses, rope course, pool, and more. How about that?
Okay, fun fact.
Okay.
I'm scared of kayaks now.
Why?
Because when I went to the lake,
yes, Saturday,
when y'all were gone, we got in the kayak and it flipped over. Yeah. And my legs, you know how like there's like a hole in the front where you can put your legs?
Yes.
Under the thing? Well, my legs, I was the only one with my legs that were like under the kayak
they got
thingy.
Stuck.
And my cousin and
there's
the other people that were people in there were like, they weren't when it flipped over they could just swim out. Yeah, but my legs got stuck and I was under it.
I'm glad it worked out. It sounds though the camp that he's describing sounds a lot like Camp Kikiwaka.
Camp Kikiwaka.
Kikiwaka.
Hanging out with someone new and falling out of Camp Canoe. With the spoon.
It's on your shoe, Kikiwaka. Y'all know that? All right. Say bye.
Bumped.
Say bye, Mary Liddy.
Bye.
We got a split for Mary Liddy. I'm Matt.
Split.
For everybody else here in the studio. See y'all tomorrow. See ya.